how much of the Players did you get a chance to watch?
A lot on Thursday, Friday, not so much on Saturday, and then on Sunday I watched the last 2 hours.
I had turned it on, and I was watching it on Sunday. I watched a little bit throughout the whole weekend, but it was about the last 2 hours. I fell asleep on the couch. I didn't even see Scheffler win. But what was the deal with, did Schauffele miss a putt or something, or Will Clark? Or not Will Clark. What the hell's his name? Wyndham Clark. Who in the hell is Will Clark?
Will Clark, one of the smooth swinging
from
baseball
the San Francisco
legends.
Giants, right?
Correct.
Third baseman,
State alum,
or first baseman.
First baseman.
First baseman.
I actually saw him play. So I'm from Omaha, and that's where the College World Series is always held. And the year that Clark and Rafael Palmeiro were on the U.S. baseball team, they did an exhibition. It was a 3-game series against Japan at Rosenblatt Stadium, the old Rosenblatt Stadium, which had 420 dead center, which was a shot. And then the alleys at that time were like 385. But they had these massive light stanchions, the old timey 200 feet up in the air light stanchions. Will Clark is the story. Will Clark hit a ball off a Japanese pitcher that was still going up over the light stanchion in right field. I'd never seen a ball hit that far. And I was just like, oh my God, who is this guy? And I became just a huge fan of Clark's swing and just his swagger ever since. So, and I actually, I was in the airport last night, and I was just going through some videos, and they showed Will Clark today. He was like hitting off a tee in his garage. The dude's like 63, and just same swing.
Still smooth.
Still silky, just crushing it. I was like, anyway, so no, not Will Clark. Wyndham Clark, who had probably one of the grossest, most obscene, just, awful, punishing lip outs that you can ever have playing golf. It was just, it's hard to watch.
Clark, what was it? It was a lip out?
Yeah, it was a full horseshoe lip out.
Oh.
And if you go back and you watch the replay of it, he thought it was in twice, because he had a fist pump. He saw it was going in line, and it was just going to make that right edge, and he started a fist pump, and then it started to swirl down. So he stopped, and as it swirled, and he thought it was going to swirl down, and he's like, again, and then it came out, and he's like, and I was just like, man, that's hard to watch. That's gross. That is hard to watch. That sucks. But Xander is the one that had, I thought, an easier putt. That should have gone in. We should have been enjoying playoff golf, but Xander missed it. Yeah, so okay, this is perfect. This is the split screen.
Unbelievable.
Oh wow.
I hope it shows his reaction. No.
That one didn't.
Anyway, if you go back and watch it, it was a double pump, and
all right, so here I can set it up here. All right, so this one is it, maybe.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so hopefully they show his reaction.
But Scotty Scheffler is the 50th Players champion. And the first to go back-to-back.
First one to go. Now, what did I say when this started? I said, well, no one's gone back-to-back, so...
yeah, do theory. Absolutely do theory. Plus, it's also Scotty Scheffler.
Unbelievable. That ball was almost all the way down below the entire...
Wonder if they'll show... they should show his reaction.
So,
360.
So stop this for a second. So when he said it was almost all the way down, I actually went back and stopped, and the ball, I don't know if you can do it here, but a third of the ball was down. Slightly over a third of the ball was down below the equator of the cup. And the other 2/3 of the ball was like, I'm out.
Let's see. They'll probably.
Either did Wyndham.
There we go. Let's see here.
What a finish by Clark.
Oh no, this is
It didn't
Scheffler.
drop.
It's
Schauffele.
Xander.
But that's as close as you can come on Scheffler till the very.
Here he
Now watch
is.
the
Let's
watch.
see.
Watch the.
Oh, he started. Oh,
Yeah.
he was gonna give it the old boom.
I mean, just awful. Just a terrible way to lose.
Let's see if.
Go back and watch that again because he's like.
I want to see if I can. It's too hard. It's too.
Yeah, it's moving too fast.
There you go.
That's close. Go back a little bit more. You can scrub a little bit more.
Oh, I think that was too far.
So there. I mean,
damn, and that ball did not go in. That's
as it's coming out. So it's on its way back out of the hole at that point.
Oh, that's just brutal. And let's go back to his
Yeah, watch the double clutch.
Last fraction.
Oh man, he wanted. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He started to, and then he was going to go do it again.
Yep.
Oh, that's just brutal. Oh,
Whipped out of there. That's a rare lip out that hard.
wow.
Look at that. Oh,
You know what?
Yeah.
I would almost say, gosh, I would love to be able to see. It's almost like that ball hit the upper part of the cup, the plastic cup that goes inside, and like rode along the upper edge of that.
well, no, they put a collar.
That's a rare lip out
For the pro tournaments, there's always a collar. So there is no, they don't get the average Joe weekend tournament cup, or not cup, the everyday cup that you and I would get. There's a metal ring that goes up at the very top of it.
Well, typically what they would do is they would paint that. The cup still goes down on the bottom, and then like that upper half inch or 3/4 inch or whatnot, they literally paint it white so that you can see it,
You know what? You're right.
So
Yeah,
that you
you're
see it. But that cup is still in there, and I
Yeah,
don't
you're
know,
right.
man, for a ball to go that far down and not go in. What I'm just wondering is if that ball hit that upper lip of that cup and it was just enough to, kick it back out.
So here's the other thing. You know how like guys will spin their balls to find, where, if it's where the center of the weight is, so that they can put a line on it, so it it rolls,
Or they'll
more
put it in
true.
water or something. Yeah.
Yes. Did Wyndham do that? Does he do that?
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe this is a
He
this
might
is
now.
this is a learning moment. That maybe we should do that in the future. I don't know if he does or not, but that'd be pretty funny. Like if somebody interviewed him and he's like, "Nah, I don't believe in that." Well, maybe it's those inches we need. They're all around us. That might be the time to do this.
Yeah, so Scotty goes on to win back to back. Pretty impressive. Schauffele, I don't know what happened to him there on 18. I know he was making a good push.
So he had it wasn't 18. To me, it was his drive on 16. He got loose with his drive. I mean, he's cruising, and he just needed to make. I think he needed to make a birdie in one of the final holes. And 16, he got loose, went right. He was in the straw. Didn't hit a great shot out of that, par. 17, you don't want to get cute, so you just want to put it in the middle of the green, par. And then, had his chance on 18 and just rolled it by. So I was like, to me, when I look back on Xander's round, it was like, well, 16, the drive on 16 is what really put the pressure on him. And if he hadn't gotten loose with that, if he put it in the middle of the fairway and had a nice shot in, perhaps a different story. But again, I think he had a way better look on 18 than Wyndham did.
So 16 is that par 5, right? That's actually if your tee shot is good, you got a decent shot at maybe making an eagle on it.
I don't have my yardage book. I don't recall.
16, yep, it is a par 5. So yeah, he ended up parring. He ended up parring 16.
Yeah.
And that's I think at a a minimum, a lot of those guys are looking at least walking away with a birdie there, because if you put it in the fairway, you've got a very manageable second shot in there, and to set yourself up for an eagle chance at worst, a birdie, and he walked away with a par, so that cost him.
But the other things that people aren't talking about, because I was listening for this on the next day on any analysis, was the absolute meltdown that Peter Malnati had after Saturday. Saturday he shoots like a 66, and he's in like the top 20. And their interview, he's there was an article that I was reading, Malnati giddy after his Saturday 66, breaks down what's wrong with the live and just starts pontificating about all things, live. And I get it. He's one of the PGA player board members. Okay. So, he's going to be, microphone's going to be in his face and he's going to be expected to talk about stuff. But to me, it was just an example of the golf gods just kind of sitting back, not really paying attention. And then, somebody starts talking, you start talking shit about what? You think it ought to be what? Oh, say hello to an 81 on Sunday. He dropped 45 spots down. He finished almost like third from the bottom, if not the bottom. And I was just like, every stroke going down, this just cash. 44 spots. And I was just like, well, that's the golf gods, man. You start talking shit, you start talking or, pontificating about like, dude, 66, man, I own this course. Say hello to an 81.
You can't get cocky. You don't want to get overly confident, and, something like that happens, and you just get tripped up, and then hopefully he's humbled and back, we'll get back at it. But yeah,
Chan Kin almost caught him. He dropped like 39 spots, 33 actually, and he shot a 79 on the final day. And the big movers were Shane Lowry. Shane Lowry jumped up like 32 spots, on the last day. And who's the other guy? Harris English. Both of them had like 66, 67. They just jumped up into the like top 20, top 10 finishes. And but it's just
Malnati shot a 9 over on his last round.
Yeah.
Was that it must have been the
81. I would freaking take an 81 all day long on that course.
on that course too. Yeah, someone just scrolling through the scores here. I don't know who is Murray. G Murray. He shot an 8 under on the final round. Grayson Murray. Wow. He and Scheffler, I think, were the only ones. I mean, they both had an 8 under final round.
Yeah, there's. I mean,
no, sorry. Siwoo Kim had 8 under as well on the final round.
It's just so funny how like Austin Eckroat, he shot a 76. That only cost him 28 positions. I mean, a 76, not a horrible score. It's a couple above par, but it just shows you how good everybody else is. Because if you shoot a 76, dude, you are going to get smoked by the dudes that are out there posting the 66, the 69, the 70s. I mean,
I would constantly be thinking just what you said earlier about cha-ching, there goes money, there goes money. I'd be looking at it going, those people, you do it long enough, you don't even really think about it that much. And but I would be sitting there going, every missed putt, shit, there goes 50,000, or I don't even know how I would react under
right, or the pressure. caddy, that's probably not under contract with Malnati. He's just gets a percent or something like that. But just you're just like, God, freaking make it.
You couldn't just shoot even. Maybe just 1 or 2 over. You had to go and shoot 9 over, and that probably cost him. Well, I don't know. I'd say $100,000.
Oh, I
at
didn't go back
least.
and look at it, but I'm betting it's more than that.
So, and I see your boy Fowler finished 2 over, finished 5, tied for 68th. What's
I've
been going on
kind
with
of
him? I thought he was turning things around last year. Or he did, but
he's still. It's like it's. I'm still not. I pull for him all the time, but I'm just not a believer. There's always something happens in the final round where he just can't close, and you know, I love Ricky. I pull for him so hard, but just can't close. The
he
other
seems
one
a
out
little
here,
snake bit, a little snake bit.
yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. It's kind of like this, when Sergio, like you just weren't a believer in Sergio closing out something. He would play loose for the first 3 rounds, and then the pressure would start to get to him, and he'd just have a meltdown on a hole on the final day, and that was it. Sergio, bye bye. But the other one that I liked, the other story out of this that I liked was Joel Damon, who you haven't watched all of the Netflix Full Swing episodes yet, but Joel Damon is featured in that. He's become, a big star as a result of this, mostly due to just the exposure and the notoriety of it, and so people pay attention to what he's doing. In this year's episode, I don't want to give it away, but there was, there was a real confidence issue with Joel, and he finished, I think, tied for 11th in the Players. So I was super happy to see that, because him and his caddy are just like, freaking frack. They've been best friends forever, and for him to get success.
Well, he finished tied for 56th.
Tied for 56? I thought he was much higher.
Oh, wait a minute, that might have been where did that come from?
No, he finished tied for 11th.
Tied for 11th. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're probably looking at Saturdays or something. But anyway, the point is, big confidence booster. He's hopefully going to take that and, do some introspection and say, listen, I just competed some of the best golfers on the planet on one of the hardest courses, if not the hardest course on the planet, because it's all about target golf. And he's proven that he can, get top 20. There's no reason he shouldn't be out there doing that every week. Like he says, somebody's got to be the 78th, ranked golfer in the world. Why not me? Well, somebody's got to finish 19th. Somebody's got to finish 17th.
Someone's got to be the 77th ranked player.
And that is just, well, but as you move up, if you from 78th to 19th, that's just cash. So anyway.
Well, the world needs ditch diggers too.
That's right, Danny. So anyway, it was good seeing, it was just good watching the tournament. And here's some fun facts. You and I have been to the clubhouse. We've seen all of the previous champions. They have to donate a club. Who won the first Players tournament? Held in 1975. There's a hint. Who won the inaugural Players tournament?
I couldn't tell you, but Lee Trevino.
No, that's close. He's in there eventually. But Jack Nicklaus won the very first one.
Okay.
And so as you go into the restaurant, there's this rack of clubs that previous champions have donated. And what was interesting to me is, like, most people will donate like a 3-wood or a wood, because they don't want to give up their irons or their wedges. But if you go there, anybody that goes to the clubhouse, go look at Tom Kite's wedge that he donated. There is a dime-sized sweet spot that is so worn that he's crushed the grooves from practice. That's the thing. That's the one thing I remember is Tom Kite's wedge that, when I think he won in like 1980, when he donated that, I was just like, look at the wear spot on that. It's so worn that the grooves are crushed.
I'd be curious to see if that was actually his gamer, or if he just went in the trunk and said, here, you guys can take, But remember, back in the day, I mean, those guys would play. They didn't have fresh irons, at the beginning of every tournament like they do, nowadays. I mean, they had a set of irons and they played with them for a long time. So
I'm sure it wasn't the gamer. There's no way. But
We'll have to reach out to
We'll
Tom.
have to call. We'll have to give Tom a call and say, "What's up?"
Speaking of clubs, so in a couple of weeks, when we're going down to Sawgrass, I'm going to get a putting lesson from your boy Mike Shannon, and while I'm down there, I'm going to.
I think when you say it, you got to say like Mike Shannon, golf guide, putting guide.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how your season goes. A lot hinges. It doesn't matter any of the professional players that he works with. Can he help you? If he helps you, then then he'll go up a notch. But
I can only go up. That's all I'll say. I can only go up.
And he's helped you before, so I'm sure once you get a chance to really work on this, your latest lesson, it's going to be beneficial. But so while we're down there, I'm also going to get fitted. I'm going to get fitted for just some new woods. Mainly, so that's going to be like a driver, a 3-wood, and some sort of 5-wood or 7-wood. I'm finally going to take out the 3-iron out of my bag and try to replace it with something.
Hold on, you're committing to this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Will there be a retirement ceremony for your 2005 Mizuno driver with whatever shaft
it's
is
not
in
a
there?
Mizuno. I got it here. It's a Callaway XR16. And it's got a nice Fujikura speeder shaft in it. I mean, I love this driver, but yeah, I'm curious what I'm leaving on the table with it. I don't know which one I'm more excited about. I don't know if I'm more excited to get a new driver, or if I'm more excited to replace that 3-iron with a 5-wood or a 7-wood or something along those lines.
Yeah.
The 3-wood, I don't really have a brand loyalty. I mean, I have Mizuno irons and even have their wedges, and I have TaylorMade woods and Callaway driver. I just use whatever feels best to me. But so it'll be curious to see. I mean, the 3-wood, I don't know what the difference there is out there now, or how much the technology has grown since I've had this R11, my TaylorMade R11 3-wood, which I still love it, but it's got a stock shaft, which I can't believe I still have in there. But it's an extra stiff stock shaft, and so I'm excited to see what just what shakes out.
Listen, all of this is going to change once we get sponsorships. Okay, we'll be swinging that driver that I used to see on the Golf Channel. The guy would hitting it over a mountain and going pow. Whatever driver that was, the sledgehammer. I think we'll be rocking sledgehammers here once we get some sponsorship.
I have no brand loyalty. No brand loyalty. Oh, what's that? Oh yeah. We'll go ahead and we'll use those.
It's the Super Wedge. It's the only club I'll ever need for the rest of my life around the greens. Yeah. How much? $10 sold.
Yep, that'll be our sponsorship. A 2-year contract too. All right, good.
Right.
We're down. So yeah, I'm going to see just what shakes out. And like I said, I go into these with no real brand biasness to it. I mean, I know I have always used a Callaway driver, so and we talked about what was it, the Stealth, how the Stealth just had a weird sound to it when it came out, and there was lots of the Stealths were returned, and the TaylorMade, what's the TaylorMade now? Is that their was that the QI?
Yeah,
the QI Max or 10 or whatever the heck it is. But so we'll be we'll have plenty of video from that and during the fitting, and see what we can come up with. But yeah, I'm just curious how the transition would be from a 3-iron to whether it's going to be a 7-wood or a 5-wood. the trajectory on it too. It seems like most of the woods get it up in the air much more than than the ironwood. So I don't know. We'll see.
I think we should just do I think I have it around here somewhere. It's the hot list. Oh, it's back here. The Golf Digest hot list came out, and I think you should just go through all of those. We should do our own hot list evaluations, and let's just wear you out and blow your back out before the season even gets started. And let's just roll through 10, maybe 12 drivers and see what your hot list comes out. Who's going to be your gold medal? Who's going to be your silver? So we'll play with that.
As we've seen before, when I go through a fitting, I'm only good for maybe 60 swings, so I get gassed, and especially if it's the driver, because I'm I can't try out too many of them, because once I get to the fourth one, I'm already.
So let's break that down. So there's 30, maybe 35 swings to get loose, optimal loosage, right? And then 60 is the cap. So you're looking at maybe 6 swings with 5, maybe 4 drivers, and then you're done. Then the data starts becoming, it starts deteriorating, and you don't know what's happening.
It gets somewhere around there, but I know I do get gassed at some point, and I start going, okay, well, that's got to be enough data. Let's see what we got here now. And you take out the good ones, the best ones, take out the worst ones, and get the average, and and let's see. But
maybe instead of trying to evaluate them at 100%, just do 50% swings with all of them and see what the data comes in, and just know that if I double the output, then that's going to be double the number.
Just double the number.
So there you go. That's one way of preserving the back.
Well, it's like in your swing, I do a 3/4. Let's just say my 8 iron goes 160 yards. I can do a 3/4 swing and it goes 150 yards, but I go ahead and do a full swing and it's another, it's
150 yards.
It could be.
Yeah.
And so it's going from 0 to 50 or 60% is a huge distance, but going from the back half of it, going from 60 to 100%, you're really not gaining that much. You gain maybe 20%, of everything. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes, anyways. And I'm excited to see what comes out. This, I can't even tell you how the XR16 that had to come out. Let's just take a guess, will you?
I'm going to say, let me see. When we gave up softball. I'm trying to think of when we started playing for real. I think you had this when we were playing softball. So I'm going to say, I'll say 2005.
Oh, probably, man, it can't be that long.
Yeah. At least 2005.
It came out, and really? You're thinking 2005? You're way off. It came out in 2016.
Oh, that doesn't seem right.
So, just think about it. I've had this club, that's going on. That's 8 years for, with this driver now. Now you might be thinking of the old one, the Warbird that I had before then, which was that Callaway came out. Did you
have the same shaft? That's what I'm kind of basing this off of.
No, didn't have the same shaft. I just had I had that old Callaway titanium Warbird for at least a decade and a half.
Well, let's look. So what you have right now, you said 2015. So that's
16 is when it came out. 2016. Yeah.
Okay. So that's at least 4 generations of drivers that you've taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And if every driver says 7 more yards, so that's another 30 yards over the 4.
We'll see about that. I mean, I would definitely take it. We'll see.
I buy into the marketing. When they say 7 yards, I take them at their word. 7 yards. So we'll see.
Yeah. And then when you take it back and you're like, I didn't get the 7 yards.
I'm getting 4 yards, and I'm very disappointed in this. This is not the best breakfast I've ever had, Brad.
So I've had some fittings before where I've just gone around and I guess maybe it wasn't a true fitting, but I've been able to try out some other clubs. And it was just a couple years ago, and I was hitting some of the different drivers, and we were like, man, it's just not enough of a gain for me to make the change. I didn't see there was a shot dispersion, um, you know, benefit that I did see from it. But at the time I was like, well, you know what? I don't think it warrants enough for me to pull the trigger on getting one yet. So we'll see what goes around this time. But there's been many iterations of drivers that I have passed up, and I'd be curious to see.
Well, the good news for you is if you're swinging a Callaway now, if you look at the Golf Digest hot list for this year, drivers, Callaway is pretty much the top driver that they're recommending, or at least that comes out on top from the reviews, and that's the AI Smoke. So it'll be interesting to see if you end up with that, or if you end up with the new Cleveland XX, whatever it's called.
Like I said,
game improvement.
I go into it. It's like a double blind, taste test or something. I go into it with nothing and just let me, you don't even have to tell me what it is. Just put it in my hand and, let me swing, and then we'll look at the data and see how it goes. But so that's coming up in a couple of weeks, and looking forward to it, even though I probably won't have even played by then, but I hope I will have played by then.
It's just, whenever I look at these lists, literally all of the leading manufacturers all get, gold for drivers. I mean, there really is no drivers that get,
they're not going to shit on a brand.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. And here's the thing is, I'm kind of tempted to go get a fitting at PXG because I've never hit a PXG. I just kind of want to see how they feel. And they're on the list. They get gold. Titleist gets gold. Mizuno gets gold. Ping gets gold. Everybody gets gold. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. So, how can they all be good or so awesome that these are the leaders? There's got to be. And I get it. There's different swings, different people. Your feel's gonna be different than mine. So it's just there's so much to look at. How do you determine what is the best club out there?
Well, that's why I don't like the because it's subjective when you have so many people trying the clubs. They'll say, hey, this is a 0 handicap, and Mike's a 14 handicap, and Jerry's a 18 handicap, and and they like this. Just put them all on what's it called, Iron Byron, whatever that machine is that swings the golf. That's the only way you can take the subjectivity out of it, is to put it on something like that, and then just look at the data. I mean, I don't know why they got to go through. I mean, yeah, I guess it makes a pretty good article for Golf Digest every year, but I mean, put it on Iron Byron, take out everything, and just look at nothing but the data, because the club was swung the same speed, the same way, the same plane every time, and then look at the dispersion patterns, look at the distance. I mean that.
And look, I get it. I just scrolled through the list. Okay, Wilson's not on here, so somebody's going to point out that, hey, Wilson's a top manufacturer and they're not in there. And I'll say, top manufacturer, 1982 called, they want Wilson back. It's not, I mean, I've seen Wilson's in the golf store and I'm just like, I can't believe that these are still around. Who's still buying these things? That it's like McGregor. It's like, what are some of the other old timey, like Pony football shoes or something like that? How are these things still around? You really only need 5 manufacturers, right? Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist, Callaway, and I'll throw in PXG. Okay, maybe Srixon, somebody like that. What do we need more than that? Honestly, I mean, the technology between those has got to be so minuscule that the results are going to be. I can't even. How am I going to be able to? I mean, I guess you could quantify it, but how am I going to, me, the average golfer, how am I going to notice a complete difference in these?
Well, the others, I think, too,
from a performance standpoint.
They fill a budget from a budget standpoint. You have others that
they're all,
aren't. I know they're all pretty, comparable in price. But
the low end is the Cleveland launcher at $450. Okay. Now, if you want to save some money, then go get the Clevelands. But everybody else, remember in softball bats, we went, it was like, they were like 150, and then they came out with the composites, and then they jumped up to 300. We were like, oh shit, nobody's buying. Who's going to buy $300? And then everybody had like 3 or 4 in their bag. It's the same thing with these drivers now. They're like $600. They're almost, at what point are we going to be getting to the Honami level where the drivers are like, $11,000, which
I'll never get to that level, but
I mean, that goes back to the story that I saw, the Honami setup in the golf store, and it was like $15,000, and the driver alone was $1,100. I'm like, who's buying this? And then I go out onto the driving range a couple months later, and there's a dude with a Honami rig, and I'm just like, Jesus. But anyway,
I hope it helps his game.
I mean, good for you though. Looks good on you though.
But I'm telling you though, I know you took a dig at Wilson. Their staff blades. I'm a blade guy. Whether I should be playing blades or not. I've always had my Mizunos, and I'm up to the MP20s now, and I don't change them. And I don't go with every year's iteration either. But I had MP14. I had several sets of the MP14s. But anyways, the Wilson staff model, their blades, I think, are just are beautiful, and they feel great. I hit them too before, but I think they're just getting pushed out by the marketing. All the money spent by Callaway, TaylorMade, Ping, Cobra, Cleveland. I am interested in trying the Pings too, especially their driver.
I mean, their drivers, the Ping head just looks massive compared to a lot of the other ones. The Cobra one looks massive too, but
what is it now? The G430,
450, I think. But anyway,
G430 Max or 10K or something is one of these names.
Yeah. Why don't they? Why don't they just name them like hurricanes do? The Wilson Athena, the Mizuno. What was a big? I can't even think of a big hurricane now. Katrina. The Mizuno Katrina.
That Katrina, it's just going to come in and crush.
Why? ST Max 230, ST Max 230i. It's.
Yeah, I don't know where
you got to come up with some technical name to make it sound, pretty sporty. But it'd be hilarious if they started naming them like hurricanes. The TaylorMade Roman, or the TaylorMade Allen, or whatever.
Well, and they have it seems like a lot of them are going with some sort of AI. Doesn't I know Callaway has AI, but isn't TaylorMade doing something else with AI also?
Oh, I mean, come on, everybody's using AI. Hold on.
AI is just it's just the thing now.
I mean, so
it's QI for TaylorMade.
I mean, I just looked up some of the hurricane names. Wouldn't it be great if you saw a TaylorMade Nadine, or perhaps the Cobra Speeder Gordon? Here comes Cleveland with their Cleveland launcher Ernesto. I mean, these would be names that would be easier to track than the IQ10 230 AI, right? Well, just simplify it. Why aren't they using hurricane names when naming the newest version of the driver or the clubs? Like, who wouldn't want to see the Ping 450 Debbie?
Come ashore, bring that. You just don't want to see it down south. Don't take it in the Panhandle or the Gulf region.
Srixon announces the new 2024 Helene drivers. They will blow you away.
There once was Katrina.
Oh, there is a Patty hurricane potential this year. That would be Hurricane Patty.
That's Patty.
Right. The TaylorMade Raphaels. Kirk. What are the other ones? Leslie. Here you go. Srixon Leslie's. Anyway. Yeah, it's funny how the technology has advanced. Like I still have my TaylorMade M2, like the original batch of the M2s, which had a super hot face. I still swing that occasionally, and I'm like, can I really see a difference between that and the TaylorMades that I have right now, which I can never remember the freaking names. Oh, the Sims. The Sim. I can, for some reason I can't remember that.
I can't either.
The Sim or the Sim 2. I can tell a difference between the original Sim and the Sim 2. The Sim 2 to me feels softer. But then when I go and look, and I'll go and hit the M2, from a performance standpoint, I don't see, to me, it's the same ball flight. I'm probably getting the same distance. Maybe it just depends on the swing, the performance of my swing versus the equipment. But, I'll probably upgrade this fall. I'll probably get a brand new Callaway or something. It'll depend on the results of your fitting. If I see, which,
I'll be the guinea pig, and
yeah. But here's the thing: like my swing is nowhere close to yours, so I'll be like, well, Gentry was hitting at 330. I want to hit at 330, and I'll go and buy $600 worth of new driver, and I'll end up hitting at 270, just like I'm doing with my Sim.
Well, you'll get a good fitting in as well, and your off the rack days has got to come to an end. I think especially you just get itching, and you're in the golf store, and you're like, what do I say? Oh man, look at this thing just sitting in the discount rack, just begging for me to take it home.
Yeah. Well, I am interested in getting fitted for some wedges, because I feel like that part of my game is like becoming really honed. So I'd like to see what fitted wedges would do to kind of elevate it. So we'll see. But it's I'm looking forward to seeing you get your lesson with Mike, and any fitting that results with the performance center down there at Sawgrass. So we'll see.
I am too. We'll definitely see what happens, and maybe I can find something else that'll mess up my game even more. So,
anything's got to be better than the even roll that you have right now.
It just
even roll.
Well, I'm not talking about my putter. All right, I like the putter, but if Mike, recommends something, I'll think about it.
I will bribe him to say, look, just anything, get him off the even roll, because one, I'm tired of hearing Pearl Jam every time he makes a putt. But
well, your putter doesn't have a song with it like mine.
No. I may have to write. No, there's no song. There's no joke there.
All right, everyone. Well, that does it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you back here on the next one. Take care.